Hello everyone and welcome to Game 3 in the series between Keen and Stephano. Stephano spawning as the red Zerg on the top right hand side of Daybreak. Meanwhile Keen spawning as the blue Terran. Terran versus Zerg once more. And I really liked seeing how Keen plays. Keen almost plays, or actually I would say Keen plays Terran almost like a Zerg player. Very, very heavy production, utilizing the benefit of the reactors, being able to double train Marines, and just crank out a lot of units very quickly, taking up a lot of bases, and confining Stephano. We'll see if Stephano watched the Game 2 and figured out what went down, and has an appropriate answer in Game 3, as Stephano just simply couldn't get up a strong enough economy to really get that Zerg engine running. We are sitting at 11 versus 12 supply. Daybreak, one of those maps where the map starts off relatively small, but it does get larger over time. One thing that I'm curious about though was, a couple of weeks ago I made a major prediction saying that Zerg would eventually be transitioning into those very, very slow late game slow pushes, utilizing Queens, Infestors, Corruptors, and Broodlords, and that really hasn't been the case. I'm not quite sure why it's fallen out of favor. Perhaps Terran players have learned to deal with it, but I haven't seen a lot of those games as of yet, so whether or not they have learned to deal with it is the question, or perhaps a lot of Terran players just know how to prevent a Zerg player from getting that far into the late game and getting up on that much gas. Alright. Once again, I am on the road and I apologize for any audio issues I may be having. Don't have my compressors, my mixers, all of the things that are normally or will be going into the rest of my cast, as I'm adding additional hardware or sound equipment once I do return back home, hopefully giving you guys a better product overall. Thank you guys for just watching me. Every view I get helps me just provide better content for you guys, as Overlords are now getting in position. It is going to be a 1 Rax expand, nothing too out of the ordinary coming in from Keen, but he is also going into 1 refinery now. We'll see if he goes for that second one. He is going to be going for that second one, and I believe he delayed his some of his SCVs there. Otherwise, I'm not quite sure what he's going to be doing. He's going to be spending a lot of his SCVs in terms of gas if he throws 3 harvesters on each of these gas, and that means that early on in the game he's going to be really limited in terms of minerals, not being able to train up perhaps enough Marines or enough Hellions to fend off this attack. Team sitting at 20 over 27 was supply blocked for a small amount of time. We are at 26 over 28. Queens now being trained up as well. We are going into that metabolic boost, and Stephano opting to pull all of his drones off of gas as a Zergling gets the easy shot off on the back of that 1-4 SCV. There's the reactor, there's the factory, and let's take a look at the refineries. The refineries, each of them still have 3 SCVs on gas, so we could perhaps once again have another starport play, as the supply depot gonna get shot down over here. Useless supply depot, not even providing supply for anyone. Reactor being placed down. It looks like we are going to be going into reactor Hellions here in just a second. There's not going to be that many minerals though, as Keen is still only running on 1 orbital. Should be able to get up to 2 orbitals in just a second. And now with Stephano getting up 7 drones at a time, this could be huge. Where is this barracks going? The barracks is already adding on a tech lab here, and now going into a second factory. Interesting strategy. We might be going for Blue Flame this time around. Blue Flame much more effective at dealing with Zerglings, as they can 2-shot, and perhaps even if they went for an armory and got level 1 vehicle weapons upgrade, they could start 2-shotting workers as well, as the damage goes from, I believe, 19 to 21 against all of those light units. Hellions are a little bit slower than those Zerglings, 4.25 versus 4.7. Zerglings able to get away with the help of that metabolic boost. We are going into the Infernal Pre-Igniter, Blue Flame tech. now being used, and I really wish more, more players would actually add on an armory and utilize some early Thors with the Hellions. That seems to be a unique combination, a unique approach. A lot of the time Zerg players are not expecting that blue flame tech to really be that devastating, and since it still takes 3 shots to take down a drone. As soon as you can 2-shot a drone, the damage just climbs up by a lot, and now going to see the Hellions try to make their way in, quickly going to get destroyed, not going to be able to do very much of anything, as we see all of those units absolutely just taken down in a matter of seconds. Zerglings now running all the way back out, nothing inside this bunker. Siege tank adding siege tech now, The blue flame tech, I believe, was cancelled. Yes, it was cancelled, as this is a very dangerous situation for Keen to be in. Stephano utilizing a very, very heavy roach style of Zerg, and these roaches are going to be able to simply destroy many of these buildings down here. You can see Keen already responding by pulling SCVs off the mineral line at the natural, and now they're going to see these roaches perhaps just try to charge up here. Siege tanks need about another 20 seconds or so. Zerglings are going to get stopped over here, as we now see Hellions attempting to torch down all of these Zerglings. The siege tank does have a very, very decent range of 7 with a fast attack rate. Banelings now going to be coming in, and Stephano may end this before it even really gets started, as the Banelings are going to take down many of these buildings here. Roaches now trying to make their way in. A second siege tank has joined in on the fight. SCVs need to repair. It looks like the factory is not being repaired at all. Down goes that last roach. Harvester count 38 to 42. Factory needs to be repaired, and quickly, as the bunkers have been salvaged. Siege tank now up on the high ground. A new siege tank being added. Blue flame tech being added as well. Let's take a look at the total losses. Stephano losing out a little bit more, as we are seeing that 62, 63 supply compared to 72. Queens now making their way down, hitting some of their injects off over here. It is going to be a 3-base Zerg, and unless Keen is able to establish up his own base or get in a lot of harassment, I can't see how Stephano can actually lose this game now. We see a commanding lead for Stephano. Overall harvester count 59 compared to 43, but these Hellions do have another outcome in the midst, as we see that the Hellions are going after drones, now taking down some Zerglings first. Blue flame tech still not completed, as the roaches are going to finish off many of those Hellions. 59 compared to 46. Blue flame Hellions still need about another 10 seconds to see and finish that upgrade. Barracks, engineering base, and new command center also being added as well. 3 Hellions being trained at a time. And where are these Hellions going to go, and what are they going to burn? Siege tank up on the high ground here could easily defend. Where are these Hellions going to go? Still not sure. We are going into an infestation pit. 66 drones versus 52 SCVs. A double infestation pit coming in. I'm not exactly sure if I agree with that at all. I've never seen double infestation pit unless you're really going for pathogen glands and you really, really want neural parasite. Alright, it looks like one of those... Oh, nope, he cancelled both. Did he... What? Did he cancel both? Hellions now trying to make their way in. Roaches going to do a little bit of stopping here. Some drones could get taken down. There goes one. Yes, we do have infestation pit already up. The Hellions trying to get some blue flame torching in onto many of those drones. The drones could get taken down. There you go, lining them all up. All the drones able to slip through and now get back to work as the Hellions try to finish off some of those roaches. And the Hellions looking to come back around once more. Could get a little bit more kills. And it looks like nope, the damage has already been neutralized. 8 worker kills versus 3. Harvester count 70. Drones versus 62 SCVs. And where is this other orbital command? And when is Keen going to try and take another base? 2-2 upgrades, pathogen glands now being researched. Hellions still wandering around. And I like this play by Keen. Keen pretty much utilizing a small amount of Hellions and trying to essentially do constant harassment, forcing Stephano to be inside his base. Once Keen has the exact composition of units that he wants, he will be making a move out into the field, and not a moment earlier, since he knows he's putting down a lot of pressure. These Hellions need to find a way to get in some damage though, but the Roaches, there are simply too many Roaches and Zerglings all across the field. These Hellions are gonna run straight into a group of Roaches. They're not good news at all. Already down to 3 Hellions. More damage being dealt. Those units will be retreating as we see Keen establishing up his third base and looking to defend it against the Zerg Swarm. Army compositions still much larger for Stephano. Stephano also has a few infestors as well. We are going into a Greater Spire and Hive Tech. A Spire and Hive Tech. Greater Spire could be coming in momentarily as we are seeing the 4th base being established here in the center. Roaches now trying to push their way in. Will be able to get some easy shots off on a couple SCVs trying to build some buildings. Marines making their way over. Hellions just getting some nice easy torching as Keen is now closing up the supply gap by about 13. Greater Spire now being added. Infestors being added. Crackling upgrades and Zerg level 2 melee attacks being added. And we'll see what the next strategy will be and how all of these and how the next battle will go. 2-2 upgrades, a new command center still being placed down. Keen about 20% done on this command center. He wants to try to establish this here if possible. The Roach is now trying to torch after these Hellions, but the Hellions, with the faster movement speed, able to get away with no problem. Stephano sitting at 166 compared to 153. Zerglings, Infestors, and Queens all ready to go. Zerglings are sitting at 2-2 upgrades. 3-3 upgrades could be coming in momentarily. Greater Spire, crackling upgrades. This looks like it could be that slow push across the map. Infestors are already out on the field. Corruptors are already out on the field. And we are now sitting with about a 20 supply room for Stephano, as Stephano now getting in some additional spine crawlers, perhaps to free up some supply, also going into some Broodlords. New base being established here on the bottom right hand side. It is going to be a 5-base Zerg versus a 4-base Terran once Keen actually establishes that center base here. The creep tumors show that the rocks have yet to be destroyed. Marines now trying to make their way in and over as well. The Marines and the Zerglings trying to engage. We could see a fungal growth. There is a fungal growth taking down all of those units there. Marines now trying to engage against all the Roaches and the Zerglings. Oh, this is bad news. Keen now trying to get away, and it looks like Keen will be able to get away. The Zerglings, even though they do move faster, don't really want to chase the Marines all too much. Stephano sitting at 200 supply. Keen now finally going into some Thors. So Thor play coming in momentarily as we are now at 198 over 200. But Stephano with the much larger Bane sitting on about 5,000 total resources, 4,000 total resources, depending on when he spends all of his resources on Banelings, and now getting into level 1 Zerg flyer attack. Movement speed upgrades and level 3 melee attacks about to be completed. Banelings are ready to go. Banelings dealing 43 damage. And here we go. Here's the engagement. Broodlords, Broodlings, and a major attack going down. Zerglings, Infestors, fungal growth. The Broodlords are all getting destroyed. Banelings need to make their way in. Banelings do not have movement speed upgrades as the fungal growth really stopping much of the attack. Keen, however, with a good number of Vikings, going to clean up all the rest of the Broodlords, and this trade is about even. Infested Terrans, however, taking down many of those Vikings, and now the Banelings trying to find their target. Are they going to be able to find anything is the key question. Finding a couple of those Marines as the units are now backing away. Vikings in the center portion of the map. Keen now down to 118. It looks like Stephano wants to rush in here, take down some SCVs. Worker count 81 compared to 63, but in comes some mules to try to even things up. Keen will get a nice jump start on his economy, but is it going to be enough as Zerglings are already upgraded 3-3 against only 2-2 upgraded Marines and Marauders? The Thor should be dropped down here in just a moment. Zerglings will be able to surround it as well. Stephano sitting at 181, pretty much remaxing already. Yeah, pretty much remaxing, pretty much more larva limited than anything else. No, not even larva limited. Just doesn't have the right combination of units for him to train up. Zerglings now coming in over here. Keen is in trouble, down to 102 supply compared to Stephano's 186, and that may be all she wrote, as Stephano is now taking down both the third and the fourth base, preventing any mining and looking to crack the natural expansion. Vikings making sure to not allow any of these broodlords anywhere across the map. The corruptors chasing after units as the Zerglings are once again running away. Thor with 1-0 upgrades. Where are those broodlords? Broodlords are here. You can see 7 broodlords are ready to go, and broodlings now also just being dropped off on top of all of those marines, doing a lot of damage. And here is that slow push. 7 broodlords could easily finish this. Corruptors going after Vikings. 1 Viking goes down. More Vikings get taken down as well. And now where are we going to perhaps get another fungal growth off those broodlords? Deal so much damage even when they're low on hit points. And the Vikings pretty much have nothing to counteract, or have no way to counteract the broodlords, as there are simply too many corruptors on the field. And Keen says GG as Stephano takes game 3. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this best of 3 series between Keen and Stephano.